everybody, and welcome to Blood Bowl. I am Complacent Badger.
I'm Sir Kilo.
And we are watching the Stalking Dead versus the Nonpariel Elites.
A difference of team value.
Yes, 540. The Nonpariel Elites skyrocketing that team value. At this point, having close, if not more, than some of the returning teams.
I mean, that's what the Crazy Eights had right about last in the last video that we just did.
Yeah. So, granted, that was due to a multitude of injuries self-inflicted, and with the major assistance of Diego the Dark with the Hills Have the Ball.
100% true, but when we talk about returning teams and new teams, about the same team value.
Yep, and then I think Ducky Shoes is around 1,500 now.
Probably, yeah.
So, shows the Nonpariel Elites able to protect players while also growing them.
Yeah. And like you said in the recap, that there's only one team who has all players in all games, and that's Ducky Shoes with her Tree Man. So there's a lot of teams out there who've had some players get a couple misses or get injuries or deaths,
Yep. Right, so Stalking Dead, starting with partial cage, getting some... yeah, that's really just giving up so many... Alright, so yeah, pulling all those players back, that's bad. You're giving up your entire... Right, again, it's, like we talk about, you need to make sure that you're blocking routes, and moving forward still blocks those routes.
Yep, 100% true.
You've given up about 6 spaces, if not more, for spaces that you could have taken. So if you're planning to do the run game, this is going to be a long drive. Ugh.
It really did just become devastatingly difficult.
And one mistake means that this team is going to score on you. Like, if you can get the ball up here, it's not so certain, but all they have to do is pick it up and run it in now if you miss a dodge or put a guy down at the wrong time. Oh. Alright, so let's see if we have a... Okay, so partial cage, doing some dodge rolls, okay. Alright, so reforming...
That's pretty solid, yeah.
That was, it's a little spooky because he's got a lot of guys adjacent to his cage, which is kind of the enemy of the cage because that allows extra hits on your cage. You want to make it to where it's only the blitz coming at you. But for that initial mistake and giving him so many yards to then gain all those yards and still be in like a pretty decent situation, that was a good rebound.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of rolls to get there, but
yeah, that's the big deal, is that he had to do at least 2 or 3 dodges that weren't ideal to do it. But just goes to show you that 2015, the year of the Agility 3.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And he had 5 rerolls coming into it, so
yeah, that helps.
And knowing when to stop or when to go, you know what I mean? That's the big difference. Is you keep pressing your luck until you don't have that reroll anymore, and then you kind of slow down and make a better decision.
Ooh, and then there's those snake eyes for the Elves.
That's going to be huge if you could take advantage of that.
Yep, it's going to equal a couple of free hits on the Elves. Could get an elf or 2 off the pitch.
That would be super nice, huh?
Unfortunately, rolling like 6 pushes does not do that. That was some kind of mid-range poor rolling, unfortunately. That one lineman just absorbed 6 pushes, 3 of which were applied.
That's brutal.
So
let's get some ball movement out of this.
It's not going to happen. He used his blitz to untie players and then formed a robust cage around that ball carrier. So I don't see a lot of ball movement in the future.
Yeah. That might be a super cage. That was...
I almost feel like the Elves don't need to do anything except maybe put somebody downfield.
Right?
They have won this turn. There's a little bit of shuffling going around to kind of make it a little better. Engaging that mummy, trying to cancel that mummy out a little bit. Maybe doing the last action to do a blitz against it. Checking the blitz. And defender stumbles onto that mummy.
All right.
So, piling all your players over here, leaving your mummy all by itself in the front, leaves a free attack on the mummy. Those big guys are, they're not that much more resistant than normal players. Their big resistance is their strength 5 when they get put into, larger groups or against one-on-one fights where they're just really tough to roll against. But they go down just as easy if there's a couple of guys on them.
Yep, 100% true. And clogging all of your guys up in that defensive formation means that the opposing team can just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Nobody's engaged.
Yeah, and we usually say, stay away from the big guys, but if the opponent isn't utilizing his players properly and spreading out to punish you for messing with the big guy, then there's really no downside to it.
Right, and that's the important thing right here is when we say all your job on defense is to frustrate your opponent. If your opponent wants to stand on midfield for 8 turns, let them.
I mean,
just pick off what you can.
In the Stalking Dead's defense, who wouldn't want to stand on this awesome pedestal in lava?
Right? Not too bad. But yeah, you got to get that. The Dead really needs to use that blitz to get a lane because you've got free players, so you can move that fairly effectively wherever you want, and you just got to kind of turn a corner to keep the opponent from filling into it.
And if he was using his ghoul or his white to kind of be on the sides for a quick pitch, these wings are completely unprotected. But the Nonpariel elites know that it's just zombies on the side. Even if they did catch the ball, they're so damn slow that they won't get away. So
this is a good move. That's what I want to see is he's got a lot of players matched up, so they're going to have to dodge to get into position. But he's got a semi-cage going on over there. He's got some players that are free that can backfill and make a cage on the next move.
They both have
do.
a massive line of players. This is a good move for the situation that was in. It's one of the better moves that he could have done with everything considered. But now the Nonpariel elites have spent 2 minutes without doing anything. But the Nonpariel elites, all they have to do is do free moves and then 2+ dodge moves to just reform and block the movement because he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have his players spread. So with the average movement of 6 and up, it's just not. He's going to be able to contain you.
Yeah.
You're just hoping for snake eyes at this point, but that's a really tough wish. Leaving... Maybe that guy just stood up. Oh, my... Oh. Double attacker down, and then... sorry, attacker down, both down, re-rolling to double attacker down. So, yeah, how important was that mummy hitting that guy?
Not.
Was that going to get the ball forward? Was that going to free anybody up?
No, that was a last move. That dude's tied up. That mummy's not doing anything anyways. Hit him at the end.
So you lost another turn of an already losing drive because you just got a little. And we keep seeing this. Players getting too tied up with these big guys, getting kind of bloodthirsty for the whether it be the player advantage or the star player points. Yeah, you take them when you can get them, but focus on ball movement. All right, so Nonpariel elites just kind of going back to their very standard, doing the exact. Oh man, even doing a go for it, and then snake eyes for that one, but
that's tough.
Yeah.
That's
really unlucky roll, but was that the guy that was going to open up everything?
No.
You gotta get that ghoul over here. Get the white. Unclog everybody.
Yeah. All right. So now you know. Just Nothing's gonna happen. Get good hits in if you can get them, and then get out, gain separation, and let the half end.
Yeah, luckily, Nonpariel Elites don't have anybody downfield, so will be no touchdown for either team.
And then moving downfield now.
Went for some but he went for some go for it's to make sure he had the distance and dropped him. So looks like an attempted foul did not work.
Just the mayhem of shuffling. Guard on that guy? That's a good move.
Yeah, that lineman that he got guard on was excellent maneuver. And every time we see it, we're shocked by it and we're amazed by it because I know I've mentioned it 2 or 3 times myself.
Yeah, it's just having. I mean, that's part of
because linemen tend
value is
yeah, linemen tend to get into the shuffle. So getting a guard on a guy who's always just in the thick of it really helps those blitzers get in there and dislodge the ball or dislodge the cage.
Yeah. Better than blocks sometimes. Just don't throw blocks with that guy if you don't have to. Let him just stand there and suck up tackle zones and give assists.
So Mass getting 1 for the Stalking Dead, losing 1 for the Nonpariel Elites. Down to 2 rerolls. That's a pretty scary half, especially when you haven't scored.
100% true.
Nonpariel Elites, while their defense was really strong at slowing down the player, I guess he wasn't really ever afforded opportunities to try to get the ball from him because those cages were just so thick. But I don't know, maybe putting one blitzer in the backfield to kind of shake him up a little bit and then take advantage of it and score.
Yeah, I do. I think that one of the big deals on that was you're absolutely right where he just didn't have the opportunity to get in a safe way. It was just, I mean, it looked like World War I there, you know what I mean?
Just 2 lines.
Trench warfare, nobody able to do anything really.
So we have a pretty quick player advantage there. 1 injury that's apothecary to a badly hurt, and then a knockout. So Undead with 2 up.
And that often makes a big difference, so they just need to parlay that into some serious good decisions and hold this. Because their goal right now is to hold it to a 0-0 game.
Yeah, right here, he's overcommitted over here. While it equals some injuries and KOs, he's basically lost this wing, and I don't think he has the movement allowance to fix it. Because
I'm inclined to agree with you.
All his fast players are over here. So he's in a really bad situation now. The white is the only one that's going to be able to be the aggressor here. A badly hurt is going to help out, though. That failed dodge, a knock off the pitch. So now the Nonpariel Elites are 4 players down. If he plays this correctly and plays this safe, he might actually be able to save this wing.
Yep, and that's what he's got to do, is he's got to focus on doing his...
Oh, don't foul! Don't foul! You have the player advantage. Do not foul! These people don't know when to foul. Alright, you do not foul when you have the player advantage, but you don't have the position advantage.
Yep. Because that guy means nothing right now.
It was the loner, I guess, but still tying up some of these guys and making them roll.
That's bold. I guess you and I, because I learned from you, I mean, you and I are pretty sissy when it comes to...
Fouling.
Yeah,
I don't like my players being taken away from me for a really far chance.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd have brought that guy into where...
They can just hit him for free. But he did have a lightning bolt, which is really good.
That's awesome. It was the white there, right? Who's just...
The
north center.
Ghoul's right here, white's right there. Yeah.
The white, yeah. I don't know if I'd have brought the white up that far. I don't know.
I think it's fine, especially since you got the
Yeah.
zombie and the ghoul back there. The ghoul has block as well, so still a decent safety setup.
That's true.
This is where you start sneaking the zombie into the backfield for just the minute chance that you can get a touchdown with him.
Yeah, because that's the win.
Yeah, if Titus to revive, I mean, moving along with 3, it's going to take him the rest of the game to get down there, but what else is he really helping with, to be honest? Is he helping the mummy take out this lineman?
Yeah, well, exactly. The truth of the matters is that if a werewolf can do it, a zombie can do it.
Yep. And then, so pushing off the pitch, I am always deathly afraid of pushing ball carriers off the pitch, or pushing the ball off the pitch because of the throw-in. But this throw-in was super advantageous to the Undead.
Yeah, that is 100% true. Look at that, immediately going to defensive mode, essentially marking the ball and then knowing that it's a foregone conclusion that they can't get the touchdown at this point.
Yeah, but, man, with how many turns he has and having all his fast players kind of locked up in the back over there, I don't know if I would have committed so many guys to the defense. You're basically giving it up and saying, I will not win this. And he's not a risk taker, which means, that's why he has the same, he tends to score the same or less than run teams, is because if anything goes wrong, he immediately defaults into, okay, nobody scores on me.
Yeah, you know what? But he's got a good team. He's building a good team. He just needs to get a little more confident in it. And that's going to be he's going to be huge in the second half. And what's his record's really good as well, yeah?
Yeah, I think he has a majority of wins. I'd have to double check his record. I can't do it right now, but
so yeah, I mean, and that's that's the bottom line is if he's winning games and he's scoring touchdowns, then if he's scoring 1 or 2,
I was about to say he's scoring usually
game,
a touchdown, but he is winning games that way. So the Mummy getting his 5th and 6th star player point with that badly hurt. So we will see a leveled up Mummy in week 8.
I'm not a big fan of that.
So Nonpariel Elite's last turn, no rerolls. There is a potential for a touchdown here. The white is set up. He's playing that backfield properly. He's going to mark it, doing a go for it just to make sure he's on this side. That's a pretty good risk for a 2+, and just in case. But he does put the white down, so so he's a movement 3 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 go for it. He can be in the end zone and then go for the long bomb. So here it comes. All right. Does he have...
Just fucking magic.
Oh! All right, so for that one, that last touchdown, the Elites did everything right to protect against that. They did everything they could. It just wasn't in the cards to stop that. I attribute that last-ditch attempt at a touchdown like that, giving him the ability to do that, because you kind of gave up so fast.
Yeah, that's what happened. You gave up the idea of playing the ball and you turned it to defense.
Yeah, and you didn't have enough players to do a successful defense. You were so many players down that the zone defense wasn't going to work. And if you would have just pressured that ball, I think just maybe with 1 or 2 more players, then it would have either had the same result or a draw.
Yeah.
That
was a fairly interesting game overall, though, huh?
It was, yeah. There was pretty much the same constant that I've seen from both teams, but I think there was a big spotlight on it this time. I think my perceived errors in their habits really took a turn for the worst in this game. The Stalking Dead, with overcommitting to that cage and just being like frothingly zealous about protecting that ball carrier, and not just being willing to kind of get out of that comfort zone of just one dude moving forward. You really just saw in that first drive that he just had no chance of a touchdown.
Right, just stalled himself out.
Yep, and then for the Nonpariel Elites, and the same thing. You could kind of attribute it like we talked about, the cage being it where it's not very, you're not very able to infiltrate it. But there was ways to get a guy adjacent to the ball carrier, especially from the back of the cage. Had he just sent one lineman and a blitzer back there, he could have really started harassing that cage.
Yep.
Because you're going to slow them down with your bodies. You're going to do that. And he had a conga line of 5 or 6 players. Those guys, that's just too many guys in that area. Peel a couple of them off, harass that cage, see if you can dislodge that ball, or at least make him scared and he makes a mistake and drops the ball, and then you can get a touchdown. You need to always be thinking about that harass.
Yep. I'm with that.
And then...
And
yeah.
the mummy.
Yeah, especially in the second drive, the Stalking Den trying that mummy just too early in the turns and where it wasn't advantageous. I can understand doing it first if it was like, okay, this guy's a really good chance at opening this lane. Oh, I rolled 2 1s. That happens. But just doing it off to like one dude off on the side, nah, probably not the best move. And then that second drive for the Nonpariel Elites, we kind of hammered it into the ground. The just giving up just the moment that drive stalled.
Right. All right. Other than that, I mean, I can't say it any better than you already did.
Yeah. But otherwise, Blitzer getting MVP, and Titus the Revive, that guy that I was talking about getting the touchdown, got MVP.
Yep. That's all right. Moving on, it's 3.
Well, good game, guys. Either way, it was interesting to talk about at the very least.
Yep.
All right, see you next time.
Later.